Hello, everyone. This is Michael W. Ford. This week, I'm going to discuss using black mirrors and divination and how they can be used not only for scrying, but also invoking spirits, and also to a point of astral projection. But let's start with the major focus of a black mirror in scrying. What is the purpose of scrying? So, scrying has been practiced since time, since things have been recorded, basically. Records have been kept. Scrying has been used in divination practices in so many different cultures. And we find an increase in the medieval period and going into modern magic, and we have some carry-ons from these old traditions. So scrying, really made famous by John Dee and Edward Kelly with the Enochian system of ceremonial magic, has a very valid use for a Luciferian. For a Luciferian who actually practices types of magic in a ceremonial or ritualistic sense. For an atheistic Luciferian or Satanist, scrying probably will not be of interest. But this is for those who have a intuitive connection to this type of spiritual exploration. Divination is, and I use that in terms of opening gates to invoking spirits also, is a communion, a communication, it's opening not only the depths of the subconscious, but potentially also the other side. And to what varying degrees of success or failure, that's up to the individual. And there are different elements that take that in tow. The Black Mirror, and you see this in my Luciferian writings going all the way back to the late 90s, is focused around the old Hebrew legend, medieval and from Kabbalists to folk tales, of Lilith's cave. The mirror was said to be a gateway to the cave in which Lilith and her demonic spirits, vampiric succubi or incubi, the Lilitu and the Lilin, would enter this cosmic, this casual, normal world. And there's a tale from the city of Tunis in Africa, going about medieval period, where Lilith, a young girl, went to they moved to a house that was haunted, supposedly by jinn and so-called evil spirits. And she utilized the mirror in this place, and it created a gateway to Lilith, where a Lilith, probably a Lilitu, a spirit, entered her, overpowered her, and basically possessed her. And this is in Hebrew religion, Jewish faith. So when they say evil, I don't see it that way. There are aspects, if you're not prepared in your magical disciplines, in your practice, your core strength of mind, that could you get overpowered? Could you become prey to something stronger? Potentially, yes, but that is the essence of what drove me further in enhancing developing Luciferianism, is when you meet power, force with force, honor, respect, and being like the spirit contacted, then there's a kind of mutual integration and kind of communication that can happen. The Black Mirror of Lilith can be used to experience and work with various manifestations of Lilith, but also in developing astral projection, projecting through the black mirror. And for the more advanced, what I really don't talk about much, especially in videos from the Black Order of the Dragon and the vampiric magic, is that these can be gateways to projecting the body of shadow in a dreaming and a kind of waking meditative state. But I won't go into that here. The black mirror, or any kind of reflecting surface in Qliphothic lore, the third air, the abode of demons, according to Kabbalah, from the Qliphoth, is the air of divination and prophecy. And that is acquiring instinctual knowledge and visions that may or may not be true. But a Luciferian should never use divination to tell he or she what to do. You can get the guidance and the interaction from this, the mysteries, the charge you get from this type of communication, but your will must remain steadfast and it must remain strong. You should never allow something to dictate what you should do. Part of the Luciferian path of apotheosis, acquiring the knowledge and conversation of the daemon, coming forth of what Crowley called the holy guardian angel, your personal daemon, is that intuitive, instructive guide that is the mediator between the higher deific mask of deities and spirits and demons, or fallen angels, whatever you call them, jinn, and you. So this type of enhancement of power is important. Now, in the Luciferian Apotheca, we just started carrying a black mirror that is kind of consecrated, presenting Astaroth. And one side is the sigil of Astaroth, and the other is a black mirror. Now, with that, this is a different thing. You would use, and it comes with this, from my Goetia of Shadows, conjurations, invocations that I restructured and developed over years that removed the callings of the Hebraic God, Yahweh, Jehovah, whatever you call it, towards invoking the demonic princes and Azazel, Lucifer, Amaimon, Paimon, and this type of Luciferian invocation of calling forth the spirit, utilizing with incense within the triangle of invocation and using the black mirror. The other side, you can visualize certain types of manifestations of a particular one of the 72 spirits of Solomon. Now, putting all your energy into making sure, I gotta see it, that's pointless. Your will being done, the validation and the result is what is important. So in doing this, you can have many distractions happen when this is done. Pounding on walls, things falling, feeling breezes, all this type of what I consider to be wonderful and inspiring, what could be called paranormal experiences, are fun and amazing. I love them personally. I live for it. But it has nothing, it can't distract you from the goal of what is the purpose of invoking Astaroth or one of the 72. You have to have goals and you have to have that focus. You see the mirror of Lilith in the German medieval tradition as well. From like the 15th century, there's an invocation associated with a grimoire of necromancy that was written probably by a cleric associated with the church. This invocation, this necromantic series of black magic workings, if you will, exploring. And when I say black magic, it's not cursing, killing someone. It's working with the veils of the other side, whether it be anti-cosmic, abyssic, netherworldly, underworld, hell, whatever, the spirit world, and how you interact with that. That's black magic. It's also imposing, compelling your will to become a reality. So there's a mirror invocation with for Lilith, actually, in this 15th century manuscript. Carrying on this tradition is important. The many different uses you can use for a scrying mirror, and it can be a small one, a large one, it doesn't matter. You can have a pocket-sized one. Aleister Crowley used that in The Vision and the Voice during his path workings. I've used small ones in camping, hiking, traveling. But this type of mirror associated with Goetia and the traditional Lilith Black Mirror have the names and the invocation methods to which meditation can be applied and used. So I hope this gives you a kind of a foundation of using black mirrors in divination and how spirits can be evoked, and that kind of gateway is become open through this type of experience. Presenting the conjuration or the invocation of the 72 spirits of the Goetia. And I just made a short video on the Black Mirror, the ASTAROTH GOETIA Black Mirror, and how the Lilith Black Mirror from Luciferian Apotheca, how we apply those in practice. But if you know the Goetia and the traditional invocations utilizing Yahweh, and they're very extensive and old-fashioned, I never connected to those. So in my work, Goetia of Shadows, and all similar works that touch on the spirits of Solomon, formulating and structuring over time conjurations from a Luciferian approach was paramount to me, because it changed the dynamic of what I was doing, and it all I can say, it was a experience of apotheosis and the enhancement of my daemon. And not only that, but it was a deeply spiritual experience, which I continue to work with to this day. I'm going to read one of the conjurations for the 72 spirits. This is published in Goetia of Shadows, and also it comes printed, included with the ASTAROTH GOETIA mirror, Black Mirror, as well. When I recite this, think of what you know about Goetia and the rather Judeo-Christian prayers, invocations, threats, and compare it to this formulation of invoking the adversarial spirits. I invoke and conjure thee, O spirit Astaroth. I call unto thee from the elements in which you dwell, to rise up from the depths of the infernal or empyrean ether. I command you and compel the powers of Oriens, Paimon, Aratron, and Amaimon. By the powers of the Tartarian abode, I invoke thee within the coils of the crooked serpent, that you shall appear in this triangle and circle by the sacred name of Azazel, of Amaemon, of Paimon, of Eratron, of Oriens, great powers, I compel thee to appear within this triangle and circle. By the seal and signature of your sigil, I summon you, O spirit Ashtaroth, that you shall bestow unto me the gift of knowledge and power. By the names of Lucifer, Oya, Shamron, Aliason, Mandoyosin, Preme, Oriet, Nedru, Isame, Iparisonat, Isitiat, Dumoson, Panochar, Casmiel, Heras, Faberiothau, Sadurino, Pitham, Venete, Lucifer. Amen. I summon thee, I open the gates of hell, the hidden darkness, which beholds knowledge and power to those brave enough to call it. I summon thee, O great familiar of the earth, from which my dagger commands thee, appear and move, materialize in this meeting place of spirits. I conjure thee, spirit Ashtaroth, whom shall appear before me in circle and center. Attend now my calling, and show thyself in a form you so desire, that we may hold congress in the communion of myself. So as you can see, that's the type of process which in this text, instead of subconsciously invoking Yahweh and having that fear of Judeo-Christian dogma infecting your ceremonial invocations, the Luciferian embraces as guides, as patrons, as brothers, sisters. And knowing that there are certain energies and powers that fill these deific mass, these spirits or demons or fallen angels, that there is in the center, the daemon, which is the mediator, which you fuel and enhance, and it fuels and enhances in turn. So I hope that might be of little interest, and thank you very much.